What's up, YouTube? It's Matt. Guys, first and foremost, I just want to thank you for all the support that you've given me recently on my YouTube channel. You know, I took a break for a couple years, kind of had some craziness going on in life, and at the same time had some musical opportunities that I had to explore. But now I'm back, I'm loving it, and it's been amazing to see that you guys are still there supporting me with my new videos. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, so thank you. I'm closing in on 10,000 subscribers. That's a number that is mind-boggling to me. I never thought I was going to reach that number. And I've got something really exciting planned for all of you guys, all of my supporters, when I hit that 10,000. So if you can, share my channel, share my videos, help me get to that 10,000 subscriber milestone, and I'll have something amazing for all of you guys when we hit it. So today you might have noticed a little something different about this video. There's a graphic at the bottom of the screen that says paid product placement. It's not something you see on my channel that often. But when the good folks over at Glarry Guitars asked me to do a demo of their Glarry GTL semi-hollow Telecaster, pretty hard to say no. I'm a lover of all things Telecaster. I'm absolutely a lover of semi-hollow and hollow body guitars. So how can I pass up the opportunity to review a free guitar? I couldn't. Now that being said, I just want to make sure you guys know that Matt the Guitar Guy will never be bought by a company, so you can rest assured that you're going to get my absolute honest and unbiased opinion on the fit, finish, and playability of this instrument. So these Glarry guitars fall very squarely into what I would call the inexpensive and affordable guitar range. So in terms of this Glarry guitar, I feel like there are probably two types of individuals who would be most likely to invest in a guitar like this. Number one are new players. Folks who haven't played before, want to try out playing electric guitar, but don't necessarily want to invest a ton of money into a mid or a higher price instrument if they don't know that they're going to stick with it. Secondly are individuals like me, people with tech knowledge, a few years of playing guitar under their belts, and they just want to take something inexpensive but well made and turn it into something that they can mod and make their own. That's always a lot of fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to review and demo this guitar today from both of those perspectives. First and foremost, I'm going to share with you some footage of me when I received this guitar a few days ago, tuned it up, plugged it in the first time, and recorded a demo using a Roland Microcube amp. I chose the Roland Microcube because I've had it for a decade. I love the little thing. It sounds amazing, but it's also an amplifier that a new player would likely choose when they started out. So you can get an idea of how it's going to sound with a relatively simple and inexpensive setup. So let's start there. Check it out. So that was the first time I got this guitar out, tuned it up, and played it. Sounds pretty amazing, doesn't it? I mean, I certainly thought so, and it even plays pretty well, with a couple caveats. My first impressions of this guitar overall were pretty mixed. I'm going to take you through some of the changes that I had to make just to make this guitar playable in just a second. But off the top, I like it, but I don't. So check out these videos of me giving it a little bit of extra love, and then you'll see why I struggled with this guitar to begin with. Hey guys, so I'm over here working on this Glarry Telecaster, and I thought all I was going to have to do was replace the nut, but things got a little interesting. Take a look at this. So I finished shaping this nut and getting it installed, and it's so much nicer than the one before. After I got it in, I decided, okay, it's time to string it up, make sure, straighten out the heights of the slots and all that stuff. And I go to restring it, and I noticed that the high E string, I just can't get it out of the back of the guitar. And this is what I find. Hopefully you can see it. Right here, the bridge is over top the ferrule hole. And it's like that almost all the way down. Now these here, there's enough clearance to get a string through there. But down here, this thing is terribly misaligned. And it's bad enough that it's to the point that I can't remove this E string without unscrewing the bridge, loosening it, and taking it out. So unfortunately, for now at least, this thing is going to be a top loader only. Thank goodness it does have these top loading holes in the back here, because if it didn't, I don't know what I would do. But anyway, that sure made things interesting. All right, so I'm checking back in again. I was hoping that I could just unscrew the screws that are holding the bridge in place and just kind of, maybe move it a little bit to realign those ferrule holes. And it ain't happening. Take a look at this. So I've removed all of the screws from the bridge, and no matter how much you move it, you're not going to get those things aligned properly in any position where something doesn't have to be doweled and re-drilled. So like, as you can tell right now, I've got all of the ferrule holes aligned, or at least aligned well enough that I can actually remove and install new strings, but the bridge, the holes for the bridge screws are really off. And honestly, on a guitar of this level of inexpensive cost, I really wouldn't see myself doweling and re-drilling this. I mean, not that it couldn't be done. It's actually fairly easy, but it's just, that's a lot of work. I don't know if it would be worth it. So thank goodness for string through holes in the back of the bridge. That's the way we're going to roll. So after a new set of strings, a new nut, a neck and bridge adjustment, and restringing in the top load fashion, this guitar is now pretty nicely playable. It's hard to admit, because when I saw that the bridge was misaligned in the way that it was and the string holes wouldn't allow the strings to pass through or be removed, that's pretty problematic. And you're pretty much locked into loading this thing with the top load style on the bridge unless you want to dowel and re-drill all of those holes. And on a guitar that's $120 new, that's a non-starter for me, at least. But I have to admit that after the changes and the setup that I gave it, it plays really nicely. Like, punches well above its price point. So if you've got a modicum of tech knowledge, I'm going to straight up say this is a pretty good value. If you're not afraid to tackle some mistakes that were made at the factory, and you're kind of handy with guitar tools, you can really turn this thing into something awesome. But if you're a new player and this is not your skill level yet, this sort of tech and maintenance work, I'm going to have to say you need to give this guitar a hard pass. There are so many affordable options out there that are not going to be plagued by issues that would literally make the guitar unplayable to inexperienced individuals, that there are better choices that you can make. So that's where we're at. But now that this girl is set up and playing nice, I'm going to show you a proper demo of clean and overdrive tones using this guitar, and it's got some real punch. So check it out. So first off, before I give you my final thoughts, I want to say a big thank you to the folks at Glarry Guitars for sending me this guitar to review. It's not every day that I get the opportunity to do things like this, and it means the world to me that you guys cared enough about my channel to actually send me a guitar and have me review it. For my final thoughts, it's kind of interesting. To begin with, I was surprised at some of the shortcomings of this guitar. It took a lot of work to get it up to the playability that I expect from an instrument. Now that being said, after I rectified those issues, and the more I played this guitar, the more I was left feeling like this thing is a phenomenal deal. For $120, the pickups sound incredible. Now, sometimes you get lucky and you find a really amazing set of ceramic pickups in an inexpensive guitar. It's happened to me before, but it's pretty few and far between. Well, this guitar has awesome stock pickups. I'm super impressed with them. They're punchy, they're cutting, they're great for modern music and for vintage style tones. You really can't beat it. In addition, the neck and body are really just absolutely impeccably crafted. They're very well made, and the attention to detail is great. There are little, if any, flaws in the paint at all, and the neck is a really, really nice piece of maple. Tuners are great. Besides the nut and the bridge, this thing is a steal. So personally, while if you're a brand new guitar player, there might be some better options for you out there, and I would suggest that you look around and check them all out before you make that decision. If you are a guy or a girl who just loves modding guitars and likes to get into inexpensive options and make them your own, honestly, this thing is hard to beat at $120. So I suggest check out Glarry Guitars at the link below, and as always, please subscribe if you found this demo useful. Thanks guys, see you soon.